Okay, let's look into your application and let's look into the import set as well. So we are looking for the applications table, right? The data we are importing
Yeah.
is into application table,
Uh-huh.
and the
Uh-huh.
owner is application owner. This is the field where we are replacing the name. So
Mm-hmm.
let us see in the user table, and this application owner, if I open this applications table or the module, the application owner is a reference to the user field, right? So the one problem that you are seeing is that we are pasting application owner name as space Rahul, right? So that person might not be there into your database, so it could be an issue related to that. So
Oh,
what I'll
since it's
suggest
a
is,
reference field.
yeah, so reference field. So what I'll do is instead I can go ahead and I can put this person's name there because I know this is there in the database. So let's try and
Uh-huh.
do so. So we'll go
Oh, you
here.
know what? I did reference to not to this user. I referenced it to the new user itself when I was creating. So
Okay,
maybe I should go and change it then, right?
new user. What new user you are telling?
I thought I thought when we were creating when we were assigning, oh, that's manager, right? Assigning,
Yeah.
oh yeah, application owner. Yeah,
Now there is one
I
more thing.
assigned it to the table itself, to the same table. So
Okay,
that's wrong, right?
let me look what you're saying. And there is one more thing, Reshma. Um, Here, what you are checking is without trimming, you are checking on space. So space is also considered as something. So instead of using space, do
Mhm.
blank. Blank meaning no space. Space is a character actually. So that might
Okay.
fail you because you are not using trim. You are not trimming it, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
space should not be used actually.
Okay.
All right. So what you were seeing is in access management application, what you did is manager name.
Yeah, and the manager name, I assigned it to the same application table
So
because
this,
I thought that the users need to be.
okay, that we'll find out. That we'll find out what we can do with that. So let's focus on imports at first. So, so source.u application owner. Let's verify the table name, field names actually. U underscore application owner equals target dot application owner equals Adela. All right, it looks right. Now let's save it. Now the other issue that you have is the date formatting, right? The date formatting
Yeah.
looks like 008, right? So
Yeah.
the issue with this date formatting is that we can resolve. So for that you have to come here, come down and see.
Mhm.
Uh, so there is a rule of thumb for ServiceNow. If you are looking for something, that something will be there onto the screen somehow, right? So you just have to find out what you are actually looking for. Right. So I am now seeing that, hey, there is some problem with this creation date, especially with the date format. So there could be some issue with this date format actually, right? Now, if we go ahead and see into the import set data date format uh, would not be matching to the system date format that we have here for our instance, right? So where is that date formatting? You can see it here. So if I go into system properties, um, so the date formatting that we have chosen for our instance, system. So if I go into basic configuration, where is the date formatting? So there will be time zone and date format that we are using. So here, see, my instance, I mean your instance uses YYMMDDDD format, right? So this format we have. So by
Yes.
default, any input that you provide to your ServiceNow instance will be into the same
I
format,
put it in this format.
date format and time format, right? Now if we go into here, now we have to correct that formatting, right? And we don't want to change our system format, right? All we need to do is to play with the input field that we have here onto the transformation map. So can we somehow change the format here and then make it accordingly so that the data that we import comes into the right format into our table? Okay. Now if I go to your import set, if I go to your import set, let's look into the import set. So the date column that we are actually looking is what that says created on, creation date, right?
Yeah. Creation date.
Okay, so if I look into your import set tables and I look into your import set rows for creation date, see the date format that we have here is 119. I mean, it is MMDDYYYY instead of what we had into our system, which was YYYYMMDD, right?
Yeah.
My system is
Yeah.
configured in a different date format, but this import set
Yeah.
data that we have here is a different one. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll have to tweak it. So now the thumb rule is that whatever you are looking for will be there onto the screen somehow, hidden maybe, right? Or eh, you know, um, you just need to configure your forms and find that out. Now see, I need to work on the syscreate on field that we have here, right? And I need to change this format, but I do not see any option here. So I'll go ahead and personalize this list. This personalized here, this is very useful. This will have so many things available here. And from it, I'll go
Okay.
ahead and pick this date format, right?
Okay.
Now I brought this date format to the selected list, and now I'll see this column here of date format. It will come, and then I can go ahead and choose the date format for that field.
Got it.
So let's scroll down. Now you can see here the sys created on is the date we have here. I'm going to change it to the other format that we are going to use. So let's say what format we are using here, DD MM YYYY.
Bye-bye.
So we'll slightly change it, MMDDYYYY. So we will change it to MMDDYYYY, right? So this is what we are
Okay.
expecting now. So we want that
Yeah.
this date format should be there into the form. So let's see if it is
Okay.
able to do what we are doing now, right? So we took care of the date and hopefully
Right.
this should resolve it, right? Now
Yeah.
let's quickly save it. And after saving, we are ready to transform it now.
Okay.
So let's do transform. Our import set is available. We only have one import set, the transformation map. Let's do transform. And coalescing is on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is loaded. Now let's go to application. Here we go,
Oh, there. You put
right?
it in the right format.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came into right
Yeah.
format, but
Yeah.
the application owner is still not getting populated for some reason.
Yeah. Is that
Okay,
the reason why? I referenced it to the same table and
Oh, I don't think so. That should
no,
be a reason.
no. Oh yeah, right.
Let me see. Let's go back
It should
again.
take in new values. Yeah.
So let's use this log dot info, and I'm going to use these two values. So let's print it.
Hmm.
So now we think that we have done right, but there is some problem. So let's try to debug it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So debugging, I may try to log it into our log tables and try to find out what is happening. So now let's do this. We'll have to go back to import sets one more time, and we'll have to change it to process, from process to loaded. Ashir, you understood the date issue that we had, right?
Yes, my dates are working fine, Mr. Rahul.
Because the Excel sheet would have the same date format as you have your system date format. So you will not see any
Yeah,
problem with that.
right. But I have some other, complications.
No worries, we'll resolve that.
Okay.
Let's copy this. Let's check if the spellings are right. Not you, application owner, dot application owner, you, application owner. Oops. Target dot application owner. Why do I not see application owner here?
Application name? No. No, not name. Sorry. Application owner. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, once something happened and the field was not set active, so it was not showing up. But it was showing up a while ago. Right?
No, here it is working. I can do target dot. This is not showing here, but it did show.
Hmm.
If I do it, interesting. Something is wrong.
Their application. Oh, it showed up now.
Let's save this now. Let's try to run it again. Okay, there is some other issue that we are seeing. The application owner is not getting populated at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and eat logs. Okay, so we get this target.application owner and it gets you the value as sysID. Alright, so maybe we can do target.application owner.get display value. So that will set the display value of the field instead of setting the sysID, because sysID is also not a value available into that table. So I'll go ahead and do a little more change into the transformation map. In just one function I'll be using, and the function is, see in the logs I see that for all of the records using the log we printed the target application owner and the value, and the target application owner and the value, right? We were printing it for
Yeah.
all, and so same as the source application owner. So from source we are getting the application owner name as sys administrator, which is right. So sys administrator is getting
Yeah.
set correctly, but
Uh-huh.
the name that we provided here is Manila, and it is target application owner. So, and here we are getting this sysID. So, we have to probably resolve the sysID issue. Dot get set display value, and then we will do copy it. This is the value we are going to set, and we'll do this. Let's see if this works. And I will quickly import set we have already changed to loaded state. Now let's do transform and see it if it is working. Logs I can refresh again. Doesn't look like there any logs are there. It says import set is not available, so let's quickly see if this is processed.
What is processed?
Reshma, would you mind taking your headphone a little bit farther from your face?
Oh, oh yeah, sure.
Sorry about that.
No.
All right, so now we should be good. Let's do transform. Let's see if we were able to eliminate this. So first we'll look into logs. Nothing here. It should have printed that. back.
No, it didn't come in.
Still the same. Why would it not do so? In fact, for this is interesting. Did we have two equal signs earlier? I don't know.
No, I think one.
Okay. Hmm. We are not doing anything wrong. It looks like everything is correct. But if everything is correct, then it should run, right? So maybe we are missing something. I'll open this application one more time. Sorry, not this. Yeah, this is this one. I'll open this application. I'll do open this record and I'll do what is this? I'll do configure table. And here I'll see the type that you have chosen. Oh, new user, is it a table?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that I referenced it to the same table. Is that the reason it was not taking in? Because I thought when you're
New user is a table
the
you were
user,
saying, right?
yeah, it's the same table. The
Alright.
create new user is the same table. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
Because I thought the application owner would be somebody who's already there in that user table. So I kind of, but
alright.
I don't know if it's possible. Is it possible to reference, or does it make sense to reference it that way?
This is possible, but this is not making sense in this case to have that here,
Okay.
right? That is
Okay.
possible, yeah, why not? You can reference it
So
too. But the new user
the
table would
same
only
table.
have a couple of users, right? The users that you have inserted is important,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, and now I'm trying to insert the record for Adela.
Mm.
Adela is not available into your new user table,
Yeah.
what you have.
Yeah.
So, I assume that that could be the reason. Now
Reason, right? Yeah.
let's do transform.
How about we create a new user called Adela and then add it, then import?
Uh, I just changed the table name for
Oh,
checking
you
if we
changed
had,
it. Okay.
yeah, for checking if we
Okay.
have done anything wrong into the transformation map or something. So let's,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
now the application owner name goes away, right? Because the
Mhm.
reference is from system table and we have not provided any reference there. Now let's run this. this transformation.
Oh, cool.
So for all of these users, the user should be Adela, in fact. All right, so in one transformation map, we have that able tutor coming in from the source, and rest
Yeah.
two, we didn't have anything, so we now see Adela Cervantes coming in.
So it was the reference that was causing the issue.
Yeah, the reason was that you have that new user table, this new user table, okay? And let
Mm-hmm.
me show this. So I'll do configure and I'll go to table and I'll get the table name. So the table name
Mm-hmm.
you have is this, and let me paste it, dot list. So we only had Jack, able tutor, and system administrator, right? So
Yeah.
this table has three possible values, right? And we were, from the transformation script, we were setting the fourth value, which is Adela. Adela was not there into the
Right.
list, so it was not
Not
picking up that
there.
value.
Not picking. Okay. Got it. Got
Right.
it.
So
Mm.
this is the problem that we were having. Otherwise, the
Mm-hmm.
rest is fine. We did it fine. Uh,
Okay.
so is it clear now? Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes, I can. Yeah, understand that.
Right. So we did two things right now. One is to resolve the date formatting issue, where we
Yeah.
actually, uh, you know, both the system timing and the transformation map date timing we corrected there. The other is
Mm-hmm.
that we changed, we debugged and changed the application owner field, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Any more
Yeah.
question that you
Thank you.
have?
Yeah. There is one more.
Sure, tell me.
When you go to that, uh, I remember in that applications, when we go to applications module, this is the place where we create a new application, right? If you
Right,
click on new, we get to create a new application.
right.
So in the create new user module, uh, last you mentioned that we make the application name a reference field to that applications module, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when a new module is added, it pops up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that works fine, but how do I make the account field dependent or the choice? Like how would it change?
I think we
As,
wanted to do. Did I say that we want to do a dependent field on account?
yeah, you said that application depending upon accounting, yeah, dependent, yeah. If there's accounting, then different options show up in application. If it's financial reporting, another different set of options shows up in
I
application
think
that
we
way.
we talked about that onto the applications screen here, onto the applications screen, because see, according to the choices that we make onto the account, we have to show the
Uh-huh.
domains available, right? Here I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
so. That was my requirement.
Oh,
Onto the
oh, not
application,
the,
right? Not onto the
oh,
user
not
form.
on the user.
Right. User form was supposed to be, what we want to do is, let's say that these information about the users is stored into some third-party database. Now,
Yeah.
my intent is to just allow you fill this employee ID. So if
Mm-hmm.
I do change the form design a little bit, and I'll show you what I intend to do here.
Okay, yeah.
And I apologize that I didn't get you the complete requirement. I wanted you to be confused a little bit. I wanted you to
No,
try.
that helps. It helps us think and try to figure out how to link up the.
Right. So that is something I wanted you to do. Try and figure out what is happening there. Okay, so enter employee ID to search, right? And for rest of the
Uh,
fields, so
display.
employee details. something like this, and I'm saving it here.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, what I want to do is, so when we go ahead and create a new user, so before we create a new user, right, uh, I
Mm-hmm.
intend to actually do search if this
Mm-hmm.
user ID field is available in a third-party database. If this is available into the
Yeah.
third-party database, get all the details and fill it onto the form,
Correct. Yeah.
right? If it is not
Yeah.
available, then allow the users to write into it.
Okay. Oh, right into it.
So that is my use case, right? So
Um.
if you open this form, you have to first search
Yeah.
the employee ID, right? So type in
Yeah.
employee ID like this and
Mm-hmm.
do something like resource lookup. If resource lookup
Mm-hmm.
results into success or true, then fill all the first name, last name, identification number, or whatever value you get from that web service. So fill it all
Right.
into this form, right? After
Okay.
filling it, if let's say if some of the fields are not filled by the web service, then you leave it writable so user can go ahead and fill it here,
Oh.
right? So,
Okay.
so just wanted to create a use case for you. So when we use web services to fetch data from a third-party system, we'll use this page, as a landing page for the web service, and we'll try to get the data somehow and display it onto the form.
Okay.
So that is my
Okay.
intent.
Okay.
That is my intent of
Yeah.
creating
Mm-hmm.
this page. Right? We are not
Okay.
yet up to the level to use web service, but
Mm.
we'll leave this form as is, as we have it today. Right? Later
Okay.
we'll change this form accordingly, and
Uh,
we'll integrate the web service here and get the
okay.
data from third party and then
Okay.
update.
Uh-huh. Okay. Got it. Okay.
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 The
Yeah.
dependency that we have to set is you can set that dependency onto the application form that we have here. Set that dependency here, right? Onto the application form when you go here. Now that dependency should be between accounts and the domain fields that we have, right? That again,
Ah.
that
Ah.
again, purposefully I have told you, I just want to make you aware, make you do the dependency settings for these two fields, account and domain. Okay, so let's say if you are choosing accounting, then you will have accounting one domain, accounting two domain, accounting three domain, right? But if you choose financial
Oh.
reporting, then you will have financial reporting one, financial reporting two, financial reporting three. So according to the choices that you make here into the
Okay.
accounts field, the dependent field domain should be populated automatically,
Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah.
right? So that's an exercise for you.
Mhm.
I have showed you earlier how to do so you have to do that
Yeah.
onto the applications form.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Doing the choice dependent, right? Creating.
That's right.
That's the way. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll do that.
All right. Um, any more question you have?
No. No, Rahul. I'm good on this now.
All right. So let's
Yeah.
move to. I'm closing your instance now.
Okay.
So now it's the turn for Ashir. Um, and Reshma for rest of the fields as well, like the application name and DNS. You know,
Yeah.
maybe you
Yeah.
can put the transcription scripts and see
Yeah.
if you want to, right?
If
To
it takes
check
it.
all
Yeah.
types of.
If it takes
So
it.
maybe put different types of different types of data types onto the form, and when you have those data types onto the form, then try to
Mm-hmm.
validate all of those and see
Yeah.
if your transformation map works, even
Okay.
after you do so.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ashir,
Thank you, Rahul.
you're welcome. Ashir, you are the presenter now.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Really? I already shared it. It says it's shared.
Oh.
Yeah, now we can see. I can
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
So my problem here is, Mr. Rahul, I have made this form create application right here where you're seeing, accounts are populated, domains are populated, but yeah, choice dependency, I have to create that now.
Okay.
And application type, and this is what, to display all these records here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my create new user form. Oh, you know what? I'm stuck here. See, application owner,
Mm-hmm.
if I click this, I see my users here.
Mm-hmm.
But when I select, let's say I select this Gary,
Mm-hmm.
see, it's not displaying me the name,
All right.
but it's displaying me here, everything.
All right. Can you open that lookup field one more time? So dev is what? Is it a name or something of that person?
No, it's application.
All right. So you'll have to go to create new user table or form. Right click
Okay.
onto the title bar, configure table. Little will change onto the table we'll be doing. Go to the, what was the field name?
Application owner. Uh,
No, hang on. All right. So see, in the display column, you have made the application field as a display equals true,
right.
right?
Oh,
Instead,
right here. Okay.
yeah, instead, what you do is go and do your first name or last name field as display equals true, right? Now save it,
Uh,
right? So what you're doing is the intro is same, but the display field for that user has actually changed, right? So that's why
okay.
you are seeing dev as that user instead of Gary. Now, when you do so, you will be seeing the first name of the person you choose.
Oh, well, okay. I was just banging my head here and there. I said, come on. It started working and then I playing, with in the background and I lost everything. I said, now I'm messed up.
Right. Now, this is one
So,
thing that we should be remembering, right? Because
right.
usually this is an issue. Developers tend to forget this and then spend a little bit of time on finding out why it is happening, right? So Reshma,
Okay.
I want to make sure that Reshma understood it well. Reshma, do you understand it?
Yeah, yeah, I got that, Rahul.
Yeah. So
And one thing, you only do the display when the I was unable to do display true for both, right? First name and last name. You can only do it one, right?
one field can be set as display tools true
Display.
because if you do two fields, so what do you want to show here onto the application owner field? You just want to show the
So,
name or first name or last
Right.
name. If you want to show the last name
mhm.
here, so maybe you could create a hidden field like last name, and whenever you fill in the form, you populate the value of the first and last name values into that last on the full name column and get that value here onto the application owner, right? But you cannot
Right.
show two field values here onto the application owner,
Yeah, on one.
right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, this was my uh, big issue here that why it's not. And see here, they are all blue here. Maybe I imported them, that's why.
Blue, okay. So these three are imported records?
Uh, mm, I don't think so, but
Blue.
I don't know why they are showing blue.
Is this a hyperlink or something?
No, it's not hyperlink
Can you open
because
this
these
record?
two I added link.
Can you open one record from here? Networking. Can you select an account, fill the mandatory fields here and then save it? Save the form. Now application, hang on.
Oh,
Can you show me the application? All right. So the allowed values that you have are dev, GA, prod, development,
right,
high
right.
availability. Now without saving, go back from here to the list without saving. Yeah. Now see what you have done. The application field you have chosen, which is not available into the choice field that you have for application, right? So you are forcing
Ah,
this field, you are forcing this field to have this value. And it
I
did
see.
that, but it is not accepting that. That will not go into the sys choice table where all the
Right.
choice values are stored. So this is just a label that you are seeing it here, and that is why
Oh,
it is showing you a blue color.
right. So I'm just forcing it, but it is not actually,
Exactly. So
it's not belongs.
if you open this record again, so you will not see web developing, hardware trouble, or networking options into that application field. Can you open that again?
Yeah.
So other fields are not here. So forcibly you
Right,
added that, but it does not go into the sys choice field table, right? So
right,
if you go into
right.
sys choice table, it will not be there, right? So
Right.
this is kind of a master record that you are altering here. So before doing so, you will have to make sure that the sys choice field contains these values, right?
Right. Remember, I made the very first form where it was software and then software web developing and then hardware was two options. So I deleted that form. So I think these values came when that form was alive.
Maybe if
Right,
you run the transformation with the values from the drop down that we have here, it should not be blue anymore. So maybe you can try it.
right. Yeah, I'll try later. Yep. Yeah, now I got this. Yeah, clear.
Okay.
So, I mean, these were the things which I was concerned about. Other than that, I will make these forms one more time from scratch. I will delete everything and then create one more time so I can, you know, get more practice there.
Right. Okay, that's fine. So try doing so, but
Right,
be fast now because we have to cover a
right.
lot of stuff. Okay,
Sure.
we will do some new topics now, and we need to make sure that we practice it as well. Right?
Right.
Okay. So here in this case, what we did is I assume that you do not have any more question.
No, I don't have.
Okay. So I'll talk about the new topic now, the next topic.
Oh, right.
All right. So in this case, what we did is leave your screens shared.
Okay.
What we did is we imported some data from a Excel file, from one Excel file that we did. Uh, what if we have to import data from a remote database, right?
Right.
For example, and now I'll share my screen,
Oh, okay.
right? Let me know if you can see it,
Yes, we can.
right? For example, let's say I have one, web server. I have one application server, a Linux server that I have into AWS, right? And I have one of my databases hosted on this Linux server that I have, right?
Right.
Uh, I'm not sure if Reshma is familiar with AWS or not, but Reshma, consider it as a server which is kept somewhere into the data centers of Amazon, and people buy cloud subscription to use these servers. So actually, I have bought these servers for them, and I'm paying for the uses of this server. As and when I use it, I pay for that. Right. For example, I started using it, the system is in running state now, so I'll have to pay for the amount of time I invest onto this server, right? So this is a server where I have my MySQL database up and running, right? So now I want to connect my ServiceNow. I want to connect my ServiceNow instance with this server and then connect with the database that we have onto this, right? So this is quite possible, right? We other day that the diagram we were seeing is that when we have different data sources like XML, CS, CSV or XML or XLS or FTP or HTTP or JDBC, LDAP. So these are the database sources that we have, and using those sources, what we have to do is to bring data into our own system, right? So
Right.
likewise, this is a Linux server that I have, and here on this Linux server I have my MySQL database. Uh,
Oh, it's P. Oh, okay.
right? So I have my MySQL database here, right? And within this, if I do show databases, Reshma, you can interrupt it if it looks too technical because I know that you are not from uh, the IT background, so you can interrupt anytime,
Okay.
right? So this is
Okay.
just a database that we have here, uh, MySQL database. There are tables into this MySQL database as well. For example, uh, I have this database as training,
Right.
and I can go ahead and choose this database, use training, and I can do show tables to see how many tables we have into this database, right? And right now I have attendee table available here. So if I do describe this table just to see what is the structure of this table, it will show me all the fields that is there into this table, right? So this table looks like this. It says that there is one column known as attendee ID, one column known as attendee name, and one column known as date of joining, and the other one is fee, right? So if
Right.
I do select star from attendee, it will show me the records that is available here, right? So these
Right.
are the records that I have into this table. So Reshma, what I need you to, correlate is, see, in the Excel file we had our data, right? Like the application owner name or the type of the application, date of joining or date of creation, etc. Right? So similarly,
Right.
we can store those data into some table, right? And this table is a
Okay.
database table that we have here. The database name that we are using is the database is MySQL. Right? You see the MySQL
Mm-hmm.
MariaDB is one of the flavors of the MySQL database. So you will see that this is MariaDB Corporation. So this is saying that this database that we are using is actually a MariaDB database, right? A flavor
Mm-hmm.
of MySQL database. Okay. So we
Okay.
have our data here into this table, attendee table. Now we want to bring this data into our database in ServiceNow, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like the other day we were talking about the different diagrams that we saw the other day. So it's like our service now is here, right? And the database, the database server that we are talking about is here in AWS. Let's assume, hypothetically, let's assume that this is AWS, Amazon Web Services, and I have my database server here, right? And these two are, far apart. These two are far apart. These two are not connected as of now, right? The
Right.
only connection that you will you want to establish is to establish with the database server and ServiceNow. So the data that you have into this tables here into the database server, you want to populate the values from this table to some tables into your ServiceNow database,
Right. Right.
right? So this is the use case we have. So we did one use case, importing using Excel file. Other use case, which is a very valid use case, and you will see this use case more often in ServiceNow application development is to bring data from a remote table into ServiceNow table, right? So to do so, we'll have to do some more. We will make use of import set table, and we'll make use of import set table to do so. But before we do that, we'll have to set up that connection actually, right? So
Right, right, right.
let's go.
So can I use, Mr. Rahul, like GoDaddy server? I have all the database on GoDaddy server.
Why not? You
Okay.
can.
So I mean, so
So
it's technically it's easy then. I mean, I'm generating forms. They are going in SQL on my GoDaddy server, so I can pull data from there and dump it here then.
yeah, you can. You can.
Wow, okay, that's nice.
All you will need is a few details from your GoDaddy server, right?
Right, right, right,
And few
right,
customization onto your import sets and transformation map,
right,
right? If you are able
right.
to do so, you are able to pull the data from any server, right?
Oh, so it's not like mandatory that I have to get services from ServiceNow. I can pull it from any database server.
Yep.
Right, right. Okay.
So let's see, when we were loading this data using Excel file, two things we
Right,
did is to create an import set table. You see this import set table?
right,
We first created the import set table, and then later we chose the source of the import as file,
right,
right? But now the data that we have is not in terms of file, it is in terms of some database, right?
right,
Into a data source that we have. The data source is this table for us, right? So we cannot go ahead with this file type of source of import anymore, right?
right.
So what we'll have to do is to change it to data source, right?
Oh, I see.
Now when we change it to data source, we'll have to choose what data source we actually want to do,
Oh,
right?
okay. So we have options right there.
These are the options that are created for examples. You will have to create the data source as well. So data source that we have here is not valid for the table that we have onto this server, right?
Right.
So first of all, you will have to get the data source information, right? So you will get the data source. Let's put it somewhere here. So you will configure the data source. I'm just putting it on the left side. We'll have this data source where we have to,
Okay.
not left side here. On the right side, we'll have that data source here. So somehow we'll build this data source, right? And let's do this. We have our tables here. Now, in order that these tables interact with this table that we have in service in AWS, we will have to first. So here you will build this data source first. I'm going to put this data source here. Data source. Alright. Now when you have your data source, all you'll do is to connect this data source with table, and your data source is now going to talk to the tables that we have here into this. Okay, so the
Right,
data
right.
source talks to the tables that you have in ServiceNow, and the data source in turn also talks to the tables in AWS or in
So
any
they have to
GoDaddy
be
server.
same. They have to be same.
Yeah, it's kind of a contractor that we have here, and we'll see what it does. Right.
Okay.
So let's go into this data sources. Right. Now we'll have to use this data sources module as well. Right. Now this person is the negotiator. This data source is the negotiator. So it will
Right.
take request from the tables in ServiceNow and pass it on to table into AWS or GoDaddy, get the data and send it back to the tables in ServiceNow. So this is a negotiator, a contract that we have, right?
Right.
Now let's go ahead and click on this data source to create a new data source for us. Okay. And here we'll have to name the data source first. So let's name it as MySQL data import source, something like that. And then we'll have to put the import set table. So this is the staging table where we'll bring the data first, then we'll start transformation, and then push the data out into the tables in ServiceNow. So let's put this table as import attendee, right? So the
Right.
table name gets created as u underscore import underscore attendee, right? The type is
Right.
file. Do we need to choose this file format, the file type? No, we have done that already.
Mm,
So we'll use this
JBDC.
JDBC.
Right.
Okay, we'll use this JDBC, right? And when we use this JDBC, see the format gets populated with MySQL, Oracle, or SQL Server. I need to pick
Oh, okay.
I need to pick
See.
MySQL. All right.
Right.
So see, now the contractor or negotiator that we have started training this negotiator. Hey, these are the information that you need to negotiate with the tables in AWS or in GoDaddy or in Bluehost or any others, cloud service provider that we have, or DNS
Right.
or hosting providers. Okay. So we are training this data source. Mid server,
Right.
mid server, I'm leaving it blank right now. Because I have not discussed what mid servers are, so we'll leave it blank as of now, right?
Right.
So consider that the format is MySQL because the database that we have is the MySQL database, right?
Right.
Now the database name that we have to put in here is the training database, because from this database server we need to provide what database actually I am wanting to refer, because see, there could
Right.
be multiple databases,
Right.
right? In this case as well, I have how many databases? I have one, two, three, four, five. Five databases I have. See,
Right.
right? Five databases we have here. So we'll have to point out what database we actually want to use. And then the
Right.
port. Port is very important because my MySQL server database server will only, the MySQL will only listen to 3306 database port. That is how it is
Right.
configured, right?
Right.
So, so So we'll have to identify the port number on which your MySQL database would work. Even if it is Oracle database or SQL Server database, so you will have to put the database port number accordingly. All right,
Right. Right.
right. So by
So I mean,
default,
what are
yeah.
what are for Oracle and the
For
third one, the last one,
for
the
Oracle is,
standard?
I think, 1433 or something. These are the standard ones, but
Oh, okay.
your administrators can play with it, right? If they
Right.
do not go with the standard configuration, they could
Yeah.
they
If
could
we
play with it. Yeah,
change the
yeah,
if we change the ports, then we have to make sure the same port is here.
right. Exactly the same port should be there. So the
Right.
default ports for Oracle would be 1521,
1.5. Oh,
right?
I see.
For SQL Server, it would be 1433,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So these are the default ones, all right?
Right.
So my database server has been configured to have the default configuration. I have this default port of 3306. So I'll put it here. All right. Now the username and password, and this is to be the username and password for this database that we have here.
Right.
All right. So I do not remember the user ID and password. I really do not remember root I'm using. Let me show that onto my own instance, because my password would be saved there. So
So you can see your password here is not encrypted.
That's encrypted. I cannot see, but that will be saved here, so I will not have to worry about that.
Oh, okay, I see.
This is not the same instance where I have. Oh, I think I have it here. All right, so you can see it. My password is saved as something. I don't remember,
Oh, it's
and the
remote.
username that I'm using is remote user. So I might have created some user like remote user. Probably the password is remote user. I don't know. So let's put this. Let's try if
Can we
you
copy paste that password?
where?
Copy
Yeah,
paste this
yeah.
password
I just
from
did.
the. Oh,
I
oh, you
just
did.
did.
Okay.
Just did. See?
Oh, okay.
Now, so let's assume that you have your username and password from your database administrator. Your database administrator said, hey, use this user ID and use this password for this database
Right.
that we have to do this transaction. Nothing technical about it, right? Nothing technical, absolutely not technical, right? Just the username and password. Now the
Right.
server. So in the server, what you can do is you can provide your server IP address, or you can provide your uh, DNS name as well. So in this
Yeah,
case, the
that's
server,
what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that maybe I can put my DNS server name
you
here.
can.
So every time I refresh my database, it kicks in here.
Yeah. So,
Right.
so this is my public IP. Do not use
Right.
private IPs because it will not understand. Use public IPs that you have. So I'm using my
Right.
public IP here. Now I am going to instruct my data source that whenever you execute, get all the records from the table. Do
Right.
not do not wait for any specific SQL. Right?
Right.
Do not get selected records. Get all of the records that you have into the table. If you want
Right.
to get selected records, then you will have to choose a specific SQL, and then you will have to write your SQL here.
I see.
Select star from table where this equal this equal something like that, right?
Right.
So you have to be careful whether you want to do all records from the table or you want to do just the selected records,
Right.
right? Few more things. Query timeout. So I usually keep it as 30 seconds. So if there is network glitch or something, if the connection is not established, it will time out in 30 seconds.
Right.
Okay?
Can we join two database?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
Why not? So you can do like specific SQL, and here you
Uh,
can put your join statement. So
yeah, but
in
right.
that case, all right. So you are talking about this training database. In the training database, you have multiple tables, and you can do
Right.
like select star from table. Forget
From
my yeah.
uh,
Forgive my spelling for these. So let's say
no.
table 1, table T2, right?
Right. Right.
Where T1 dot C1 equals T2 dot C1, sorry, C2, right? And some more
Right.
conditions, right?
Okay.
Right?
So
So
we
you are
can do
getting,
inner join, outer join here.
why not? So
Okay.
you run that statement onto your database, right?
Right.
And then execute that, statement, see that the statement is valid, bring that here, right? Paste your script here. Do not put a semicolon at the end because that is not
Right.
desired.
Right.
That is not
Oh, I see.
desired,
Okay. Okay.
right? Without putting the semicolon, just put your script here. So it will still get the qualified result from the database, right? From the two tables that
Right.
you are joining or multiple tables you are joining, right?
Right. Right.
Because here we are not supplying any table name. See, there is no table name that we are supplying. We just
Right.
supplied the database name, database port, right? And we chose specific SQL. The moment we chose a
Oh, I
specific
see. Right.
the
Right. Right.
the moment we chose specific SQL, the table name field went away, right? If I do all rows from the table, then it will ask what table name you want to bring data from, right?
Got it. Got
So
it.
in
Got
this case, I'll go ahead and I'll use the attendee table because this is the table from where I want to bring data.
it.
I'll
Right.
put it here, right? And this
Right.
use last date runtime is, if you check this on, So it will keep track of the timings when it was executed last time, and it is especially used to get the delta value from the tables, not all the records. So it will only get the differential values from the database, meaning
Right.
today I have 10 records into the table. Tomorrow if I run the same data source again, same transformation I do, so do I get all these 10 records plus the new records that I have created today? So if you do not want to bring all the records that were created just before today, so what you will do is you will use this last date runtime, and basis that you will only get the differential data from the table.
Right.
Okay?
It will save some time. Right.
Yeah, it will save some time for your data source and your transformation map, and the performance will be faster because
Right.
and you have that data already into
Yeah.
table.
Right.
All right. So let's save this. I hope my password is correct, right? So this is saved. Now to test it if it is working fine or not, I'll do test load 20 records. Let's see if my password is correct. Alright, my password is incorrect.
Yeah.
My password is incorrect. It says access denied for remote user
Yeah.
using password yes. So if I do here onto my instance, I do not remember the password. If I do test load 20 records, it should be, oh, I need to change the IP address here because mine is not a static IP address, and this IP address has actually changed because
Ah.
since this is not a static IP address, every time I shut this server down and I reboot it, the IP address changes.
Right. Right.
Now see, it is retrying. It is setting query timeout to 30 seconds, right? It has not been able to successfully connect to that. So it will keep trying. The import processor will keep trying, for a few times, and then it will give up. It will say, hey, I am done trying with your database. It is not allowing me to connect, so I am giving it up, right?
Right.
So let me cancel this now, and then I'll go into data sources and I'll change the IP address. Now it is busy.
So I mean, this Amazon, they don't give you static IP?
They give, but so they give it for
Oh,
free.
but you have to.
They
Oh,
gi-
really?
yeah, they give it for free, but what they do is if you shut your server down, if you are not using that
Oh,
IP, static IP address, then they'll
right.
start charging it, probably $10 a
Right.
month, something like that,
Oh, wow.
right? So these instances that we have here is, I use it, you know, mostly for training only. So
Right.
this goes into the free tier program that they have right now. I'm not paying
Oh,
for these servers. I'm paying just a
oh,
little
I see.
amount for these servers as of now. But after one
Right.
year, I'll have to pay for it. Or if I'm using any
Oh,
more services from them, so those services which are not into their free tier program, so I'll have to pay for that.
right. So I mean, they will have add-ons with these servers. Like you can add on, like, I don't know which kind of services they will be offering.
Oh, you have the full control of it. You can deploy your own applications, whatever you want to do. So it contains
Oh,
a lot more features. It's your server hosted in their
oh,
environment. It's your server. Do whatever you want to do. So whatever you want to do, you can do it here.
right.
Changing the IP address to the new IP address that we have, 54.145.66.76. This will change
That's a
again when I,
smart. That's a smart. You put IP address with the name, so you can remember.
all right. Okay, now I'll do this test load 20 records. Here we go.
Right.
It ended in success now, and it says process 3 records, inserts 3, updates 0. If I need to see the
Right.
loaded data, it will go into attendee table. The data is here. My import set is
Wow.
loaded. Now all I need to do is go to transformation map and run this, transformation, right? So add attendees is the transformation map I have here, and it is
Right.
between the attendee table and the attendee target table we have here as well. So I'll run the transformation again, and when I run the transformation, the data will go into the table. Right? So the only thing different we did is to create this data source, right? To identify
Right.
the data source, and instead of choosing the data source type as file, we are choosing it now as JDBC, right? And the format we
Right.
chose as MySQL.
Is there a timer in ServiceNow we can set up for this? Uh, so it can, after like maybe 1 hour or after like 6 hours, it goes to that SQL database and update.
Why not? It is uh, sorry. You have to you don't call it as timer here. You call it as
Okay.
scheduled imports.
Okay. Right. Right.
Scheduled
Right.
import. So your scheduled imports, you can see it here. Right here, you can go ahead and create your scheduled import, and you can define the
Oh, I see.
frequency of the
So we are
import.
creating a task, scheduled task. So after every certain time it runs.
Exactly. So you have to basically
Uh,
choose the data source. So whatever data source we have, so
oh,
see the data source here.
right. Right. Right.
So I'll go choose the data source. What if I want to do that Excel import every time? So I'll go ahead and do that data.xls file or the application.xlx file that we uploaded the
Right.
other day, right?
Right.
So I can go ahead and put a, scheduler for this data source as well, and I can define the frequency of it, daily,
Oh,
right? Or
right.
periodically, one times a day, two times a day, or whatever you
Right.
know frequency you want to set, you can set it like daily, weekly, monthly, periodically after parent runs. Okay, so these things you can do. Okay,
That's a cool feature,
so
right?
that's a really cool, real cool feature
Yeah.
that we have here in ServiceNow.
Oh,
Okay.
it can do a lot of stuff, Mr. Rahul. It
Yep.
can do a lot of stuff. I mean, if you are creative, you can do so much stuff in this service now.
Yep.
Wow.
Reshma, are you with us? Do you understand the things that we
Yeah.
discussed?
Yeah.
Any question, any confusion that you might have?
Mm,
Are you familiar with database stuff?
yeah, I have kind of idea, but about the server thing where it's remotely located, I'm not aware of it. But as you mentioned, I think it's just something on a cloud based. Is it
Yep.
a
Yep. This is
database?
exactly this is a cloud-based setup that we have. So you could use any server, but the condition is
Mm-hmm.
that you should have a public IP address, right?
Right.
Public IP address
Mm-hmm.
is required because this ServiceNow instance is in public domain, and it may not identify your home computer unless you do some specific settings, right?
Right.
Okay.
How would
Mm-hmm.
you make this ServiceNow instance learn that you have a PC in your home? To that PC you want to make a connection, right? So if you do not give that PC a public identity, your ServiceNow instance will not understand that. Make sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
So this server address is the one, okay, on the server, on the
yeah,
located
yeah, this is the public identity of the server that we are using.
server trying to reach, right?
Yeah.
The one, okay.
So if you ping this IP address today, you will see the
Mhm.
ping, ping responses as valid one because the server is up. So if I do ipconfig and I paste the IP address, oh sorry about that.
Spring.
Sorry about that. So if you do ping, oh, it is timing out for some reason. Hang on. I mean, this is available. You can ping it. If you copy this and if you paste it in the browser, it will show my Apache or Nginx browser that I have under the server. So it is showing that this
Right.
Apache browser, I have it here. If I might have my test.html, do we have it here? I don't have it. Test.html, I probably have .php page. I'll have to look at it. So I have some, let me cancel this. So if I do like index.html, it will open this
Right.
index.html page. If I go ahead and do testphp.php, it will open my testphp.php page, and whatever I have
Right.
in there, it will come out. So somehow it is downloading it right now because of some settings into there, but it will do that for me. So if I open this read me.html, so it will open this page for me. So on this server that I have, this remote server, I have a few of files hosted as well, along with the database server that I have, the MySQL database server. I just want to use this database server to bring that data that it contains into my
Import.
ServiceNow instance. I want to import that data into
Okay.
my ServiceNow instance, right?
Okay.
So by providing this IP address, we actually identified that, hey, this is a server from where I want to bring the data, right? And these are the
Right.
properties of the server or the database that we have. Using those properties, I want to bring all those data from the server. That is all we are doing
Perfect.
here.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is all I wanted to discuss today. Uh,
Right, Mr.
we will discuss about mid server as well, because see, this discussion calls for this use mid server option, but we have not talked about what mid servers are. So we'll do it, right? We'll discuss about mid servers as well. Um,
Right.
mm, how do we give you access so you can do this?